Now, this kind of, is it more important to go through the training quickly or take the time to implement what you're learning?
Oh yeah, okay. So should you burn through the modules and get the workbooks handed in and get your certificates and then know nothing? Or should you actually try to get some value out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the question, right?
Yes.
So obviously, you want to make sure that as you go through things, you actually implement. There is no point in reading a book to get to the end of the book, right? Like, if I'm going to invest the time to read a book, I'd like to actually find at least one thing that I'm going to implement. Like, otherwise, what's the point? You're wasting your time. Like, you're not going to remember it. So it's like, I have the instructions to put together, I don't know. I'm going to assemble, like, I don't know, let's say, I built a greenhouse last year. Okay? Took me like, I don't know, a couple weeks. It's very large. If I had read the instructions and set it down, what have I got? Nothing.
Right.
If I read the instructions and I assemble it as I go, what have I got? Well, it's going to take me longer, but by the time I get to the end of the book, I've done it. How many times do I want to read that book before I start doing something? Because every time I pick up the book and I read it, well, there's nothing there. This is I'll watch how I say this. This is the person who goes through the program and says, well, you know, they go through the first module and say, well, I don't really see the value. Okay, you read the manual. You didn't assemble anything.
Right.
Well, sure you don't see the value. You didn't do anything, you dork. Like, this is common, right? Because people think, well, gee, you know, I'm going to hire someone to do something and I'm going to give them my credit card, they're going to solve my problems. Well, no. All they did was hand you the manual. You're going to read it. And if you're going to read it, maybe you should do something with it, right? It's like, you know, a child gets a toy for Christmas and brings you the box and you take out the instructions and you say, let's read the instructions together. No, I don't want to read the instructions. I want to build the thing, right? I want the thing that works, right? So that's the bottom line, right? Now, all right, let's do a case study really quickly on our top members, many of whom are going through the modules for the second time as a team, to go through now and implement everything they didn't implement the first time. And even some are going through the third time, just the leadership team, to pull out a couple of pieces that are missing still. And you know what? Those are all the top performers.
Mm-hmm.
The person who gets through it quickly as possible to get whatever they get out of it, a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe an energy boost or something. Maybe they feel better about it at the end of the year, but they didn't build anything, and that's what they got.
Yep.
Waste of time for you and me.
I find too sometimes, like I'll tell people to just slow down and implement everything. Just stop where you're at. If they feel overwhelmed, like we have too much to implement right now, then just stop, implement what you've learned, and then proceed on with everything.
That's right. Like, there is a checklist for the program. There is a process. There is we know at every module what you should be implementing, right? So this also, by the way, happens to the people that they start the program and they go dark for 2 months and we're not communicating with them. And then all of a sudden they come back and say, you know, we've done this, and I don't know what to do. And hey, you lost connection. Like, let us walk you through this because there is a process. It's not hard, but you skipped over a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you read it, but you stopped, you didn't build it. And now you're saying, but there's so much to build. But if you did it piece by piece, everything builds on the next, right? On the previous. So it's like you're starting from the foundation and you're building on top of it.
Yep.
There's no point in getting to the part where you're talking about putting a roof on it, saying, gee, there's so much to build. Well, I know, but see, 15 steps before that, we could have started with the foundation. So let's go back and fill it in, right? Well, it's going to take a while. Yeah, it's going to take a while. But you're talking about, again, read the case studies, read the testimonial, listen to the testimonials. You're talking about people who have, transformed their business. You don't do that in 6 months. And we have the results in 6 months for some people, but, I'm telling people it's 2 years. It's 2 years. I can't explain it the other way. You got to spend the time. Be patient with yourself. Like, be patient with your team, right? It takes what it takes to do it right. You can't fast track. Let's build the thing faster. Let's just use less nails. Like, no, no, please. You know, do it right. And it's not hard to do. The thing is I can tell you it's not hard to do, okay? It's just that it takes time. And we are super impatient as humans. I understand that, right? If you're like me, everything yesterday, preferably the day before. Totally get it, but it takes what it takes, okay?
Perfect.